Dear colleagues in the field of adult education, I am representing the Estonian Basic Education Managers Union, and our whole board is represented here today. Our union includes the heads of kindergartens from all over Estonia and officials who deal with the topic. First, I would like to use this opportunity to thank Andras for the good cooperation, for giving us the opportunity to be a partner in this project. Our first concern, of course, is that this shouldn't remain on a level of just being a project. It's a very thankful initiative. Of course, changes don't come overnight. Conditions may have been created. But readiness to go along with these changes, of course, depends on each person's personal motivation, needs, and mindset. And all these processes to change that, it takes a long time. So what were our activities? What were the main ones in the cooperation? Something in which we went really in depth was the motto of the project that we really thought about very at length. And the motto was, a child needs a reasonable parent. And who would argue against that? And of course, which parent doesn't think that they are reasonable? So we quite quickly understood when we started working with the county representatives we started discussing with them the training curriculum, a basic one, and in the county of Tartu, we found that the very first or the primary skill that each person needs is the self-analysis skills. And perhaps overlapping with the previous motivating presentation a bit, this self-analysis skill, that's something that is a weak link in our educational system. We get knowledge from a very broad range of fields and spheres, but we get to know a minimal amount about ourselves. So we can only assume that this is part of the reason why people can't cope with their thoughts and their feelings when they are an adult, and they don't know who they are, what they really want out of life. Just because people here haven't taken enough time at the right age to think about themselves and their thoughts and their feelings. For example, in the kindergarten methodology, something that is very important is to get to know your emotions, to understand your emotions. And I think that should also continue in school. Speaking of the future vision that we heard about, we, of course, have to also take account of the fact that the future is here now. There's no way that we are going to escape the future. So all these kinds of visions and this awareness is very important, keeping that in mind. We also know, of course, that the more you learn, the more you will find out about how little you actually know, which will mean that you want to learn more, you want to study more, know more. So this key area, or the most important point, is making the first step. A big part of the work of kindergartens is cooperation with parents, counseling parents, supporting parents, making sure that it all serves the best development of the child. And of course, we know that how difficult it is to include parents in training courses. Those who participate are always the ones who have already made that first step and so much more. And at the same time, we see those who have given up, who are desperate. Listening to the previous presentations, I was also thinking that maybe learning and training, studying, maybe those are terms that also need renewing, refreshing. Of course, that's sort of a joke, because I don't even know what you would replace it with. But it's clear that when it comes to training courses and inviting them to training courses, it can be intimidating for young parents. Because we can't generalize the reasons why people drop out of school. They're very individual and in each case. And when it comes to changing mindsets, of course, the process has to also be individual and be based on individual needs. So how do you do that? That's a question in and of itself. You can't approach all people the same way. But something that we noticed when at the beginning of this year we carried out a survey throughout the representatives from each from the counties and the county coordinators. Something we found out through these surveys is that all people knew who the coordinators were. People generally knew what kind of events could be held at kindergartens and what the coordinators could be used for. But it seemed that the cooperation was the most fruitful in those counties where the regional leaders had also been involved in TÜN support groups. And the best target group in among the parents of kindergarten kids was parents who were at home with the children, not just mothers, but fathers as well. And those were the people who missed social interaction the most. Of course, the ways to motivate parents to participate in common training courses or whatever kinds of gatherings, that's something you will hear about from the next presenters. But I have this interesting thought that came to me when this morning I was thinking about what's going to happen to this project next. I thought I probably might not want to talk about it. It's my own little quirk, but why not? You've probably noticed when you're traveling around Estonia, you've noticed how beautiful the gardens and our yards are. And you might remember that getting these beautiful homes, gardens cleaned up and nice, that was an initiative launched by one of our presidents. And for most homes, it works very well. Everybody keeps their gardens very nice. But looking into the future, could one vision be that our people also tend to our souls and our minds, and it would make our people more beautiful? It sounds ambitious, but actually the mechanism is the same. The initiative has been made. Andres is the one calling on us to beautify our own personal garden, so to speak. And I wish us all the luck in getting it done. Thank you.